Hi, I'm Mark DeRosa, and welcome to Play Ball at Home, presented by Scott's. This Saturday's episode features Juan Soto and the World Series champion Washington Nationals. I had a chance to catch up with them in February in spring training with Greg Amsinger. So let's go hook up with Zinger right now and talk about the champs. All right, Zinger, we were there in spring training with the Nats. Give me your takeaway. What'd you take away from the camp?
They seemed hungry. It's hard to say that after a team won the World Series, but you got guys like Juan Soto walking up to the skipper going, hey, I really want to make the team out of camp. And we're like, what? What reality are you living in right now compared to what we're living in? This team wanted to go back-to-back. That was the vibe I got. The pitchers, to me, seem a little exhausted because they rode them hard, but this is a team that's going to be a force. I don't know. What did you think?
I think for me, when you watch Max Scherzer walk out of the clubhouse, followed by Strasburg, followed by Patrick Corbin, these three trees walk out, it has to make you feel good. Like, I know offensively they might be a little challenged. I think they're going to miss Anthony Rendon a heck of a lot more than they even realize. But when you have three monster number ones, offensively, I feel like they can kind of figure out how they're going to score runs. The pitching staff's nails.
Yeah, I think there's more pressure on Trey Turner to take his game to new heights than any other player. When he came back, the offense was completely different. Yeah. Trey Turner is going to have to become possibly a 30-30 type player. And there's pop there. He's a skinny guy. I know, D-Ro, you think, I think the ability's there for Trey Turner to be 30-30.
I like the little savvy, like, veteran bringbacks. I think they brought in Asdrubal Cabrera came back, guys that if Carter Kieboom struggles a little bit, that they're able to manipulate this lineup and keep guys fresh. Eric Thames kind of piggybacking Ryan Zimmerman at first base, I think is interesting. I think Robles has got to take a huge step forward. I think their bullpen obviously is going to be a heck of a lot better than they were leading up to the postseason last year. There's a lot to like about the Nats.
And there was a lot to like when we were in camp, including Carter Kieboom. You talked to all of these guys, D-Ro. I mean, you're a former Nat. So they do love you. For the kids that are watching on Saturday, what can they look forward to seeing?
Yeah, I think for me, I got a chance to really break bread with Juan Soto, who is him and Ronald Acuna, Tatis Jr. They're the three like young faces of the game, in my opinion. I got a chance to circle the bases with Carter Kieboom, which is interesting. He's getting a chance, man. I got a chance to really go in and kind of dive into the mind of Adam Eaton, who's one of the tougher outs in the game. And what I loved about him and the message he's going to bring to the kids is, hey, not everybody's Mike Trout in the big leagues. Not everybody's Bryce Harper. Some guys are Adam Eatons, and it's how you prepare every day and fight and scratch and claw that make you a successful big leaguer. So he was an interesting interview for me in the cage.
Yeah, Mike Trout didn't make it to the World Series last year. Bryce Harper didn't make it to the World Series. Adam Eaton was coming up with some big knocks. My question is, when we do resume play in 2020, do the Nationals have what it takes to make it back to a fall classic?
Yeah, I think they do. The Nationals have been set up to win their division and get to a postseason. Now, getting thrown in maybe with some AL East teams, it's going to be a heck of a lot harder. But again, if Max Scherzer is right, if Steven Strasburg's changeup is working, and if Corbin's got the devastating slider/cutter, yeah, I think they got a chance to do special things again. Do you want to have a little fun?
Yeah.
You want to have a little fun?
Back, let's go.
Can we bring in the Chevy play ball reporter, Drew Stahl?
All right, Mark, you were doing a nice job at hosting Play Ball this week, but now I'm taking over. So now that we have Greg Amsinger and Mark DeRosa, let's have them face off in some World Series trivia. The way it works is that each person has 3 questions and 1 point per correct answer. If we have a tie, I have the tiebreaker questions ready. First question will be from Mark DeRosa. Who is the first #1 overall draft pick to win the World Series MVP award?
Oh my God. I mean, Steven Strasburg?
And that is correct. The first #1 overall draft pick to win the World Series MVP award is Steven Strasburg. And now our first question for Greg Amsinger. Which player has the most home runs in World Series history?
This is recent, right? Am I right? This is a recent guy. World Series history. You know it, D-Row, don't you? I mean, I should know this. I'm going to say Albert Pujols. I know that's wrong.
Yeah, that's incorrect. I was gonna help you when you said currently, but actually it is Mickey Mantle with 18. He had the most career home runs in World Series. So now our second question for Mark DeRosa. The New York Yankees have the most World Series titles with 27. Which team is second on this list?
You get the easy ones.
St. Louis Cardinals.
That is correct. The St. Louis Cardinals with 11. So now our second question for Greg Amsinger. Which team holds the longest World Series drought without winning a World Series championship?
Would that be the Cleveland Indians now?
The correct answer is the Cleveland Indians. You are correct. So now through 2 rounds, Mark DeRosa has 2 questions right and Greg Amsinger has 1. Now we're going to head into our third round of questions. So our third question for Mark DeRosa. Juan Soto turned 21 during the World Series in which he hit 3 home runs. He was only the 6th youngest player to hit a home run in a World Series game. Who is the youngest player in baseball history to hit a home run in the World Series?
I think he lives a couple blocks away from me, actually. Andrew Jones?
That is correct. Andrew Jones, at the age of 19, hit a home run in the 1996 World Series. And now our third question for Greg Amsinger. Which player has the record for the most World Series championships?
Which players won the most World Series championships? That's Yogi Berra.
And that is correct. Yogi Berra has 10 World Series. Mark DeRosa got all 3 correct. Greg Amsinger had 2. And Mark DeRosa is the Play Ball World Series Trivia Champion.
Before we end the show, let's leave you guys with something to work on. This is this week's Play Ball at Home drill. My drill for you guys to work on at home, pretty easy. I got my man, 10-year-old Dane Heil right here, absolute beast on the travel circuit. And you know my son Brooks Thomas right here. And something I notice playing in these tournaments is it's a team that can catch and throw. Everyone's going to hit, but it's the team that's a little more fundamentally sound defensively that works. So a big thing I used to do as a kid, I used to take a Super Bowl right here. Everybody's got a garage door, hopefully. And I used to get in line. One-hand drills. When in doubt, be an athlete. You want to soften up your hands, man. And the only way to do that is try and catch this with one hand. So get in line right here. We're going left hand only, left hand only. Let's see who's going to miss one. Give it a throw. Now there you go. Throw it against the wall. One hand on, bang, left hand. Boom, right here. Looking it in. Right hand, Brooks. Right hand. There it is. And you can take it so many different ways. Play different games with yourself, against your buddies. Maybe 20 one-handed lefty, 20 one-handed righty. Looking them in, pulling it to the belt. Play little games, so have fun with that at home, throwing the ball against the wall. That's it for Play Ball at Home, presented by Scott's. Hey, check in this Saturday. You're going to get a chance to see Juan Soto, Adam Eaton, and Carter Kieboom on MLB Network. Until then, stay safe and keep playing ball.